guess. Hello world, huh?
It's a Tiger Tuesday, and here's what we have ahead on Morning Drive. Just 2 days away from making his return to competitive golf, Tiger Woods joins us live from the Hero World Challenge. Find out what the 14-time major champion has learned during his time off and how this comeback will be different from the others. The spotlight might be on the 14-time major champion, but what are the lofty goals for one of the hottest golfers on the planet right now? And what is Justin Thomas's reaction to being paired with his idol this week? Our insider will reveal. Plus, we continue our countdown of Tiger's most memorable moments. Just where do these shots stand on the all-time list?
Better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
It's all ahead on Morning Drive this Tuesday, November 28, 2017. And a very good morning to you. We have a big show to look forward to today as we near the start of the 19th edition of the Hero World Challenge. I am Cara Banks, joined by all of these smiling faces. Lauren Thompson has us covered with all the day's updates, both on and off of social media from down in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, our Golf Channel Academy lead coach, Travis Fulton, has been joined by a longtime friend of Tiger's today. John Cook will help him break down just how many changes Woods has made over the years. And our Lisa Cornwell is on site at the Albany Resort, ready to update us on the atmosphere down there today. But let's start by finding out what is happening now, and we send it to my right and say good morning to LT.
Thank you so much, Cara. Good morning to all of you. Glad to have you with us. And just yesterday at Albany Resort, Tiger Woods logged another practice round ahead of the Hero World Challenge. This time, it was a quick 9 holes with Patrick Reed, and the 5-time PGA Tour winner was clearly impressed with the 14-time major champion's form.
Really, I think the biggest thing was the different shots he was able to hit. His body was able to move quickly through the ball if he was trying to hold a cut in there, or he could, slow his body down to hit the draw. He was able to kind of change the angle of attacks. We wanted flight one get steeper on it, bunker shots, and just kind of, he's always had command, but really to be able to do it where it seemed like there was no fear. He wasn't worried about his back. He wasn't worried about any part of his body not holding up. And, that to me was the biggest thing.
So before this week, Woods had made only 3 competitive starts in the last 27 months since August of 2015, when he finished tied for 10th at the Wyndham Championship after an opening 64. But by the end of that year, he'd slipped outside of the world's top 100 for the first time. He returned at the event last year, 466 days after he last played. He led the field in birdies, but he would finish 15th. He then went on to miss the cut at the Torrey Pines event that he had won 7 times in January of this year before withdrawing from the Omega Dubai Desert Classic on the European Tour. And since that first surgery, he has played just 7 competitive rounds of golf worldwide. It has been a long time that the world has been waiting to see Tiger Woods return to action once again, but that does happen this week. And so for more, let's welcome in our colleague who is down at the Albany Resort in the Bahamas, of course the venue for the Hero World Challenge, and say good morning to Lisa Cornwell. Lisa, you're inside. How is the weather out there today?
Well, it's off and on. Good morning, Cara. It's a typical island weather. One minute it's perfectly clear and bright and the sun is rising, and then the next minute showers are falling. It's a little drizzly. It is a little bit humid, but they say around 11 or 12 o'clock it's supposed to get much better, so that's good news for these 18 players.
Yeah, and hopefully this will be the worst day of the week weather-wise, at least. Let's speak a little bit about the tournament host, Tiger Woods. He has been on property since Sunday. What is his mood and confidence level like this week, do you think?
Cara, it was really interesting. I got here a little late yesterday, and Tiger had already played 9 holes with Patrick Reed, so I went out and found him. He was on the back of the range with his caddy, Joe LaCava. They were hitting golf balls, and when I got there, if you like high, tight draws, that's exactly what Tiger Woods was hitting. He was going between that and a stinger with his 2-iron. I watched him for about 15 minutes, and then we chatted after, and not only was I thoroughly impressed with his golf swing and the way that he was hitting the golf ball, but his attitude. You could tell, and Patrick Reed just mentioned it, he is confident, he is comfortable with where he is, he loves the way he's hitting the ball, he likes the distance that he has, but more than anything, as Patrick said, and many people have reported, Tiger is pain-free, and watching him and hearing him talk about it, you can tell that these aren't just empty words. He really is pain-free at this point. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to watch him tee it up. I know he's really excited about it. He loves this week. He loves being here. This is like a second home to him. So he was all smiles yesterday, very confident, very content, and a very happy Tiger Woods.
Yeah, they may have been empty words before, but they certainly don't seem to be this time around. Now, this is not an official PGA Tour event, Lisa, we know that, but players do still receive official world ranking points. So with the holiday season in mind, I'm interested to know how serious the rest of the field are taking this week.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Anybody who's been around golf and watched guys on the golf course and little side bets, I would imagine, obviously, they're taking this very seriously because there's a lot of money at stake. But this seems like one of those events where there's a lot of pride at stake. I can imagine some of the side bets that will be going on between these guys. They're really good friends, most of them. And it's one of those weeks where they obviously want to work on their game. They want to play well, but it's also kind of an off week. They're looking ahead to next season. I think that for them, this is a very social week. It's a very fun week. It's a very laid-back week. But look, they are the best players in the world. It is also a very competitive week. So I think that we'll watch those guys kind of go at each other a little bit. It's going to be fun to watch them on and off the golf course. I think I'm more excited to watch them off the golf course than on it this week.
I bet. No doubt it is a competitive field. 8 of the world's top 10 down there this week. We can't wait to see how they play. We'll be back with you a bit later in the show, Lisa. I know we've got Tiger himself to look forward to live from Albany today. So that was Lisa Cornwell with us from the Bahamas. But right now, let's send it down and say good morning to Travis Fulton and John Cook.
Hey, good morning, Cara. Yeah, and here with John Cook. This is going to be a lot of fun. 20 years of Tiger Woods golf swings. And we're really talking about 4 different eras here, 4 different swings from his time with Butch Harmon to Hank Haney, Sean Foley, and of course now with Chris Como. And you had an inside seat to all of this and why the changes took place and the different types of ball flights. So this can be a lot of fun to look at the X's and O's and get the insider from you on what you were seeing with Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I've been very, very fortunate to be part of this and see the transition and pick his brain, have him pick my brain and pick Mark O'Mara's brain. Very, very fortunate.
It's only fitting to start, I think, in 1997, right, under the tutelage of Butch Harmon. And when Tiger came onto the scene, of course, from Stanford, you know, this is some of the best golf that we've ever seen. And,
yeah,
you know, when you look at this, John, you met a young Tiger. What stands out to you here?
Just the athleticism. You know, 20 years old right here, and just the youthful exuberance of what he was showing right here. The beautiful extension, the athletic, you know, setup. The great, you know, aggressiveness through the golf ball. He just hit the golf ball hard as he possibly could each and every single time.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting here, and this is certainly some of the best golf that we've seen Tiger play over the 20 years, and when you look at him now here, and this is some of the footage that we got from the hero, I think under the tutelage of Chris Como, we're starting to see some of the direction move back to some of Tiger's youth. As you mentioned, some of the athleticism and the instinctiveness of perhaps playing golf rather than golf swing.
Exactly, and what's mind-boggling to me is when you took this 1997 swing as a 20-year-old, in 1998 things started to change just a little bit. And this is when he tried to take this golf swing and mold it into something where he is hitting golf shots, little half 8 irons, half 9 irons. He would sit and we would talk for hours between Mark and I on how, when, and why are you hitting little 8 irons, little pitching wedges, taking spin off, flighting the ball down. And, you know, with this swing and molding it into the bigger picture on how he's going to ascend to the #1 of all time. That's what was really, really interesting to me.
Now let's take a look at this. Now we've synced these up here, and you watch this. Look at the first move here as we take it back. What I really like, and I mentioned this yesterday in Morning Drive, is the width. I think his hands now are starting to move back out away from him. A little harder to see here in 97, of course, with the video quality, but his hands are very wide here. Very much a big staple of Butch Harmon's teachings, the hands out away from the chest. And when you're wide now, as we take it to the top, you can stay taller. I love the width, and I love now how he's staying taller. So let's go ahead and play it to the top here. And I know you like that too, John.
Absolutely, and you have so much space then to do whatever you want with the golf club. You want to drop it in, hit a hold-off cut. You want to drop it underneath, hit a nice high draw. You have space and room to do that, Travis.
And here comes that room. Watch this coming down. I think the most encouraging thing here as you look at this coming down. The shaft really is gathering nicely for Tiger, where it's starting to kind of trace on top of the right forearm. Very much the case over here on the right in 97 as we continue on through. When Tiger, I think, is wide and tall to the top, I think it's a lot easier for him to get the club back down in front of him and then just kind of be instinctive from there and be the athlete that he is, where he can just kind of rotate and get out of. Look at that rotation back in 97. Reminds you a lot of Justin Thomas, to be honest with you, when I was looking at this
completely this
morning. And, you know, Cookie, I'm encouraged. I like what I'm seeing.
I like the taller finish, but he has to now with, you know, where his back issues are. I like the taller finish, but certainly free swinging.
Back to Butch Harmon here. 1996 to 2003, they worked together, 34 wins, 8 majors. Now it's time here with Chris Como. I think they would take just a little bit of that success and be quite happy with it. Cara, back to you.
Well, speaking of Justin Thomas, guys, you may get a flashback to that 1997 swing because he is playing alongside Tiger Woods in the opening round of the Hero World Challenge. They will go off at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can watch live coverage here on Golf Channel from 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Just 2 days to go. But it is now time to take a dive into Rosie's notebook as we welcome in our insider. Good morning, Tim Rosenthal.
Morning, Cara.
How you doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Fascinating pairing, no doubt. Going to have a lot of people following them. You know Justin Thomas well. You spent some time with them down in Jupiter. What's his reaction been to the pairing?
Well, I saw him Friday night at the Woods, and he was excited about going down and just having a chance to play in Tiger's tournament. And then I saw the pairings come out yesterday, so I sent him a text and asked if he would share some of his thoughts with Golf Channel, and he did promptly, saying, "Pumped to watch him plot his way around in competition. I've seen it a decent amount of times for fun, but never in a tournament. Hopefully it's a great day for both of us in terms of golf and the walk." And what I took away from that was, besides the excitement factor, he was intimating that he had played more than one of these practice rounds with Tiger that we had heard about in the last couple of weeks. Guys like DJ over at the Ritz-Carlton the other day with Trump and others have had all been having to go with Tiger either at Medalist or at some of the golf courses down in Jupiter.
Yeah, no doubt. Sounds like JT and Ricky have played a fair few practice rounds with Tiger Woods down there. It is kind of cool, though, to see these so-called Tiger babies who grew up wanting to emulate him now being able to play alongside the 14-time major champion in competition. It will be a first for Justin Thomas, so that's coming up on Thursday. Now, the defending champion is the world number 5, Hideki Matsuyama. He comes in to this event this year in a little bit different form from what we experienced a year ago. What's been up, do you think?
Yeah, 5th in the world, but not the same guy. It started really with the putting. It's an issue he's been working on all year. He really hasn't gotten over it. He had 5 putters at the PGA Championship where he led going into the final round. Obviously, it was an indication of how much he's struggled. And then you look at his putting stats, the strokes gained, 173rd in strokes gained putting. That's down 7 spots this year. And he lost like 10 shots to Brooks Koepka at the Dunlap Phoenix. And they were paired, actually. He lost by 9 shots in the head-to-head. And just watching Koepka go around with a 3-wood and also a 3-iron, because he had driver issues that week, he came away saying, I feel there's a huge gap between us. And really, he's 2 spots ahead of Koepka in the world rankings. But that's where Matsuyama is right now. This will be his last tournament for the year. He's going to go back home to Japan. He's got a wife and a kid now. It's a little bit different from a perspective standpoint. I expect him to figure out the putting issues and then come back strong in 2018.
Well, speaking of Brooks Koepka, is there a hotter player in the world right now? My goodness, he's had 9 top 20 finishes in his last 10 worldwide starts. One of those was a runner-up at the WGC HSBC Champions and that win at the Dunlop Phoenix. That was a 9-shot victory. We saw how Dustin Johnson's game came together to kind of be more rounded as he became the world number 1. Can we see something similar with Brooks?
We certainly are. And, you know, the way he outmuscled Aaron Hill is the longest golf course in U.S. Open history. Kind of punched it in the mouth, as Steve Stricker was saying. You think he's just all about hitting the long ball, but he's shown the nuances of the game that are important. You look at his putting stats, he's 12th in strokes gained. He's number 1 putting inside from outside 25 feet. And obviously he knows he can win a major championship now, so he loves his chances not only at Augusta, but climbing up and becoming the number 1 player in the world, like DJ someday. And what he's most proud of, Cara, was that he was actually lowest in total strokes in major championships last year, minus 21 to Matsuyama's minus 20, Kuchar's minus 20, and also Fowler's minus 16. What I take away from Koepka at this point in time is this quiet confidence that he seems to exude. He feels like he belongs with the big boys, and I see him just doing nothing but continuing to climb up in the world rankings.
Seems like he would be hard to get flustered. very calm. And he was frustrated with his lack of form before he won that US Open. Now he's a major winner, and we'll see what else is still to come on Brooks Koepka's resume. Thanks for being with us, Rosie. You'll stick around?
Yes, be here all day.
Perfect. We'll be back with him in a little bit because we've got plenty coming up today. We're just getting started, right, LT?
Yes, we are. Just getting warmed up right now. Just a few balls in right now. So coming up this Tuesday, you will be hearing from this week's tournament host, Tiger Woods, a few times. He's going to be taking a seat with us live here on Morning Drive. We will also be leading you straight into the press room in Albany for his news conference later this morning. Then we have sent our equipment expert to rally up the top finds when it comes to technology in the game. Matt Adams joins up with Bailey Mosier to unveil the latest gift ideas for the golfer in your life so that you can ace your holiday shopping. Plus, more moments to get you excited for the return of Tiger Woods. We count down his 10 greatest hits of all time to pump you up on this Tuesday morning. Just some of the many ways Morning Drive is your source for the absolute latest on all things Tiger Woods, just 2 days away from his latest comeback in the opening round for the 2017 Hero World Challenge. We will be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.